It's not a podcast.
It's a GarCast.
And this is the world according to Gar.
Hello and welcome to the world according to Gar. You are listening to GarCast episode number 282. I am Gar. With me as always is the GarFather.
Gar, hello.
What's up, dog?
Not much.
We got a lot to talk about with you, but before we get there,
been a quick week.
Let's introduce our special guest this week, coming in from some glory place in the Yellow Room. It is DenBob.
Hello. It is good to see everybody. Thanks for the early intro. It must mean I'm really welcome. Usually you wait till like 20 minutes into the show.
I really want to get to Mike's had quite the week. And,
I think you felt bad that you were waiting for 13 minutes.
Yeah, were you sitting in the Discord for a while?
I was.
Nice.
Because I'm on time.
I only don't join because, so listeners know. So Gary's usually late, a little bit behind the scenes, but that's his prerogative. It's his world. It's his show. 100%. And Bosco will join, so we know he's there. I don't join, not because I don't like to be alone with Bosco. Some might.
Although that would make sense.
I don't want to have any conversations till we're live on the air because it's all for the listeners. So there you go.
Beautiful.
Make sense?
Completely.
Okay.
I don't believe it. I think it's just because you don't want to talk to DenBob.
No,
but
not at all.
Hey.
It's that we would have such a good time. We would waste all the good material. Yeah, so I'm back. Last year I did not end up at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean, although I did think about it a couple times. Whenever there's turbulence, I assume we are plummeting out of the sky shortly. I'm not afraid of flying, but I don't like when it gets bumpy. Wasn't too bumpy. I have to say, overall, I mean, we'll talk about different aspects of the trip. From my brother-in-law driving us to the airport and me getting through security to the gate, I would say 40 minutes from when I left the front door of my house, I was at the gate. That's how amazing the JFK experience was. Piece of cake.
That's amazing.
That was everything went well all the way home. A couple of minor incidents that turned into nothing. It really was a perfect trip. So it was no crazy Smile Line stories. I was talking to Smile Lines last night, and I was like, the amount of things that would have happened to you on this trip would have been amazing, but none of it happened to me. So it was spectacular. The first thing I will say, Bosco, your method did not work for me. This is not to say that your method is not good. It's probably me because I'm crazy.
We're talking about jet lag in advance.
Yeah. So I know what I will do next time. Your method didn't backfire on me, but so I had said I woke up at 4 a.m. Right. Now, we didn't do your full method because you would have done it for days. Maybe that worked.
I think that might be
it. Yeah, no, you got to do it an hour a day.
In hindsight, I should have slept as late as I could have, which would have been like 7 a.m. when the kids have to get up. So I would have had 3 more hours sleep because I did not sleep on the plane at all. So
yeah,
I wasn't very comfortable in coach. Maybe I've been spoiled by the Filipino Airlines business class. It could have been all the Hasidic Jews that were next to me who kept getting up and moving around the entire flight.
Around a lot.
Holy hell! Can we talk about this for a little while?
Yeah.
You've experienced it?
I have on Frontier Airlines.
Oh.
They felt like it was a happy hour. They're out, they're talking, they're always in the upstairs. Like, when I sit down, I got everything I need for the next however long the flight is. I'm dug in. I know that I have scheduled bathroom breaks just so that I could get up. Other than that, I didn't even pee. That's not in my original vicinity. But these guys are like on a pilgrimage.
I don't know what it is. And the airlines, first of all, probably a mistake that we went on a Thursday. Because it was funny. I was thinking of Andy because Andy had mentioned that his sister was staying with him. And she's not Hasidic, but she follows some stricter rules that have to do with the sun going down. So I figure they can't fly on Friday, right? Friday night flight. So
that's a good point.
I think this was the last chance to get out of Dodge to London. A lot of them, and the whole section. The first thing they did that pissed me off. So those of you who know me for a long time, I find them to be. This is a blanket statement, I know, but I've been exposed to them a lot. I used to repair phone lines in their homes. I worked in their neighborhoods. There is no people on earth that annoy me more than them. Sorry, it's just a fact. So we're getting on the plane, and I'm like, and Nancy's like, shut up, because like I'm talking out loud. I'm like, God, Jesus Christ, these people are, I'm like being a little loud.
They don't care.
They don't care. They don't hear me.
They don't
so
care.
The first thing they do,
insulted?
The first moment I wanted to punch somebody in the face was they basically, and I shared something on the Discord this morning that happened to pop on my phone, sort of related. They basically muscled a couple of women out of their row because they didn't want to sit next to women.
Oh.
The row right next to Nancy. We watched this all go down. Like, they fast talked them. You gotta move, and they all moved. And so this whole row is now just the Hasidic men.
Yeah, no, they did move, and that's because you can't fight that.
No, I don't blame them for just being like, yeah, just
get the hell out of there. Thank you for asking me to leave.
Exactly. So
we're going to sit here and make you miserable. You might want to move to the other end of the plane.
Right. Then they had boxes for their hats. But they were wearing their hats, but I guess they bring the boxes because they need them later. The boxes are shaped like hats.
Huh.
And those were taking up the entire overheads.
Ugh.
Now, I didn't have anything to put there. Yeah.
Empty hat boxes.
Uh-huh.
How about you put the fucking hat on your lap?
Right. But they wore the hats during the flight. I think this was for some other, maybe when they go to temple, they take the hats off. I don't know. Then I'm like, everybody's got to be in their seat for takeoff. And then the pilot comes on and he's like, all right, we get the cruising. And they did this both ways. They made this announcement. For those of you who would like to pray during the flight, I'm like, what?
They have to make an announcement.
Yeah. And I'm assuming there's probably some Muslim people that maybe need to do the same at certain times of day. Please don't clog the hallways. You can congregate together by the bathrooms and don't be near the emergency exits. I'm like, are you kidding me? And so, yeah, the whole time they're up, they're moving, they're going in the back. This one guy, I mean, he had to go by me on a 6-hour flight 10 times.
Oh.
Like walking back and forth, going to talk to somebody in the back. It's just so irritating.
How big was the plane? It was pretty massive, right?
Huge. Yeah, I think it was 80 rows.
And no 2 tiers. It was one.
No 2 tiers. It was like 3, 4, 3.
And a 3, 4, 3 it was, okay. And they took what? Like 7 seats?
They had the one where they booted the people, it was the 4 men together, but then it was like 3 stacks of them, so there was like 12 of them right there.
Wow.
All getting up, talking, shuffling.
Like, what are we doing? It was like they were at a party. I'm like, what the hell's going on?
It's like it's a party, and it's so frustrating because you need to be, especially one of those night flights.
Right,
like
so that didn't help me.
It's designed for sleeping.
That didn't help me sleep at all.
It's such that Hasidic. I'm glad we're talking about it. I would never bring it up because I think it's highly inappropriate, but it's really not.
I brought it up before. Yeah.
So I'm reading a book. It was actually a gift from BMO by Malcolm Gladwell, and he talks about in his book. He talks. He calls it white flight, and in his history, there was a tipping point when a certain amount of black families moved into a neighborhood.
Gotcha.
They just take over, and all the white people would leave.
Yeah.
And I was reading that book.
Talked about that with Roosevelt.
It brought up a scenario. A friend of mine lives in New Jersey, and he said what they're doing, the Hasidic Jews will move into a neighborhood in mass. They all get on the school board.
Yeah.
They reduce the taxes for the school and ruin the education.
Right. They vote no on the budget. The kids don't go to the school.
All their kids go to private school. Yep. And it actually destroys the neighborhood for everybody left living there, and they all have to leave.
Yeah, happens in
Rockland.
Like
what they're doing on the plane.
Yeah, well, Rockland County
Your
is the same
story,
situation.
I am never going to London on a Thursday night again. Ever.
Yeah, well, good tip. Yeah, I would say. The way home, there was not as many on a Monday flight back, but they were still there.
No, but it was the last day to get out of Dodge. You're exactly right. They can't fly on Friday.
That was Nancy's. Nancy was attuned. She's like, no, it's Thursday. I'm like,
brilliant.
You need to fly on Friday night.
You need to fly on Friday night.
And the plane was packed. It was sold out. It was wild.
Yeah, that's good for the economy.
Yeah, no, and then I think I was told, I asked actually Christian if he knew, and he was like, oh, it's the Diamonds. So you know how we have 47th Street in Manhattan, the Diamond District? They're all running that. London has a similar Diamond Exchange. So they're flying back and forth with shit.
Maybe that's what's in the boxes.
Yeah.
Maybe they're diamonds.
Oh, it's in the hat box. I'll take a hat box. That's why they're getting up and checking the whole time.
You got to check all the time.
I would be nervous.
So that was wild, but the flight was good. We landed a half hour early. We actually could have landed earlier. The pilot got on in his wonderful English accent and said, there's a jet ban until 6 a.m. We can't come into the airport. So we had to circle. But Heathrow was great, man. Ease of once we got off the plane, because it was 63 rows to wait for. Immigration, piece of cake. You don't even talk to anybody. You just scan your passport. Bloop, gate opens. You're in the country. The underground is in the airport. You just go down these escalators. You're on a train for $2.70, whatever the hell it is, pounds. And you pop out 37 minutes later in the middle of London.
Nice.
Great. No air trains to the Long Island Railroad or taxi cabs or bullshit like that. So didn't sleep. Nancy slept not a lot. So we went to the hotel. We were at the hotel at 7:30. Pretty good. We landed.
Did you talk to the people next to you, like DenBob would?
I was on the window. Nancy was in the middle. We both did a fist pump when the guy sat down next to Nancy because he was a young, skinny guy. Took up no room. He put on
inside the line.
Yeah, he put on a sleep, and he was a good border between Nancy and the Hasidics.
Yes.
And
nice. Buffer, right?
He put a sleep mask on and just passed out.
Fantastic.
He was a non-issue.
Wow, it really was a good ride there.
Yeah.
All right. Except for the.
So we decided. I won't go into every minute though. We check in at the hotel. Rooms, of course, not ready, which I understand. It's 7:30 in the morning. They took our bags, and we were on the streets of London by 7:45. And this is Friday. We walked around for 2 hours, just wandered, saw, we're like, oh, look at that. Oh, there's that. Oh, look, all the stuff. We had stuff on our list. We were checking it off, and we got a nice breakfast, 9:40. Back to the hotel. Still wasn't ready, so we sat down, and we both passed out in 2 chairs in the lobby, looking at a big screen TV. Out cold. Slept for an hour. Somebody woke us up because Nancy's glasses fell off her head or something. And they had us the room by 1:00, which I thought was good. And we unpacked, and we both said, you know what? We haven't slept yet. Let's not sleep now. Let's just rock on. And we headed back out, and we saw, I got to give Nancy credit. I can walk all day. I don't get tired. We walked over 20,000 steps on Friday on no sleep. Saw so much stuff. Had a great dinner at the Nag's Head, which is a place Mike and Christian had beers at. Went to another bar, the Lamb and Flag, which is one of the oldest bars in London. And we went to bed at 6:45, which I thought was pretty good. And we were able to sleep, thank God, till the next morning. Because I was petrified I'd wake up in the middle of the night and then we'd be ruined. But we made it through, slept 12 hours. And we were back. We're on clock. We woke up at 6:45 in the morning, London time. Felt perfect. So that worked for me. It was tough with no sleep, but it worked.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah, for the jet lag in advance, the idea is to do it days in advance.
Yeah.
You pretty much just jet lagged it 1 day early.
It's bad
you needed to go 5 days.
Yep. Which is, hard
4 in the
to do.
morning's not enough. You got to be up at 2 in the morning.
Right. So if you can't do your method, just
then go the other way.
Just
go the other
pull
way.
the all-nighter. Yeah.
Pull the all-nighter in the yep.
As you noted in the Discord, I guess you had to be a little weary of buses driving down streets. Is this accurate? Were you forgetting what direction they come
what
in?
The
buses?
Say?
The buses. I understand there was
a
potential issue with buses and you.
So we did joke about that beforehand because I remember years ago being in Ireland. You go to cross the street and you automatically look the way your brain and body has been trained. Cars are on certain sides of the road. So yeah, I almost got clipped by a couple double-deckers a few times, really close. I would step out into the street and Nancy would pull me back. Or I'm taking a picture and my elbow's out and everything's smaller in England. Doors, Bosco, it's perfect.
You'd love it there.
It's like you would fit everywhere. Even the restaurants, like BMO would struggle because like he'd be ducking all the time. They'll put a table for two like in a shoebox. Like it's like, yeah, we got plenty of room. Come on in. Boom. Like you're right there. You know, you got to talk to the people next to you, which I didn't mind. It's fine.
No, on vacation that's fine. No problem with that.
Yeah. The biggest complaint about London: too many Americans.
Huh.
I didn't want to see any Americans. I mean, there's a lot of tourists. You know, what are you gonna do? One of the things that happened, I'm not going to go through a timeline or anything, but Saturday night, after another good day, we go to the White Lion. Also recommended, I think Jackie, Mike, and Christian and Liz ate there. We're sitting down, table for two. So it's like table for two, table for two, table for two, table for two. And these two dudes, like in their 20s, come in and sit next to us. And I recognized the guy right away. I'm like, that's the guy that sat in front of me on the plane. Because I remembered him because he got up a lot too. And he also, every time he sat, he hit the button and just flew right into my lap.
Oh, an aggressive seat.
I'm like, do I say anything to him? So we were halfway through our meal. And then eventually the guy's like, looks at Nancy or me and he's like, you guys are from America? We heard your voice. And I'm like, yeah, were you on the Virgin Atlantic flight Thursday night in row 61? He's like, yeah. I was like, you sat right in front of me. He's like, holy shit. So that's another sign that we're living in a simulation, because what are the odds of that happening? That doesn't make any sense, right? No sense. They were, I don't know, on a young boat. They were flying. They were taking a train to Belgium the next day and then going to Amsterdam doing God knows what. So that was funny. But things to know if you go to England, things are smaller. Cars are on the other side of the road. And here's tips for when you're out at a pub. You want to have drinks or food. The pubs, unless you go to a dining room, which some of them have upstairs, there are no waiters and waitresses. You order everything from the bartender. There are no seats at the bars, just like the Philippines. That's probably where they get it from. The bar is basically a place to have the bartender take your order. If it's a drink, they will give you the drink back. People will line up. Like, they won't fight to like, hey, get the bartender's attention. Nope. They'll just queue, as they say. If you order, these are all things I uncovered because I did it wrong. Ordering a beer is easy. Ordering a pint or a half pint. Mike gave us a tip on that. Ordering wine. I didn't know this, but this is, it's very controlled by the government, I guess. Glass of wine. Can I get a glass of rose? Right. You would hate a lot of the regulation. You could see it, you could feel it. Glass of rosé, please. Sure. Would you like the dry or the sweet? That's a fair question. I'll go with the dry. Small, medium, or large? I was like, what am I, in the McDonald's drive-thru? So they have these. I'm like, They have these silver measuring cups, small, medium, and large. They have to pour the wine into that and then pour it into the glass. So every glass of wine is exactly the same amount of wine.
Not a good way to get customers to come back.
Yeah. So, and then every time you order a drink, you got to pay right there. There's no, we're staying for a while. Boom, you got to pay. But you don't need to bring money. Nancy made me get £200. Didn't need it. Credit card bonanza.
Yep.
Some places don't even take cash. They just want anyway. And then
Apple Pay as well. Just like like here,
Apple
right?
Pay for the underground. That's what we used. Our phones.
Yeah.
The other tip to order. So we're like, you know what? Let's just eat here. We're exhausted. Nag said, "There's a menu on the table." I'm like, "Who do we order from?" I asked the busboy. He's like, everything through the bartender, mate. I'm like, all right. I go up. I go, we're gonna order food. She goes, "What's your table number?" I'm like, I don't know. Table number. There was no, I yell at Nancy's like, 14. I'm like, what? In the corner of every table in a pub, and this goes everywhere, there's a little gold, like, metal thing, and it's got
a number.
Your table number scratched into it. So you tell them your table number, you pay for the food right there, and then they bring it to you when it's ready.
How about tipping?
No tipping.
You didn't tip the busboy or anything?
Nope. No tipping. Nobody tips.
Excellent. Did you tip the cleaning person?
No.
Love it.
Not a tip was, no, I didn't do anything with the stewardess.
Okay.
It was very liberating, the no tip. Loved it.
That's nice. It is nice.
It's so much more relaxing.
It is.
I don't let it stress me anymore. I just look and laugh. Zero.
Yeah, you gar them.
Yep.
Give them a little gar. I love the no tipping. That was cool. So I could do, I mean, you know, I could have easily been just like sat in a different pub every day. Like, you know, we were good though. We would have lunch, have a drink with the lunch, then go back touring again and then dinner and drink, you know. But now that I've seen everything, if I go to London again, I would just go to like 3 pubs every day. Just bounce around. They're everywhere.
So is the bar service worse since they're not making money off tips? Did you notice? Or was it just, it didn't, the way people queued and...
It wasn't worse. I do like sitting at a bar and bullshitting with a bartender, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I had that same feedback from the Philippines that I missed that. But as far as quickly getting a drink, and it was fine. Even when I went out Saturday watching the soccer game by myself while Nancy shopped and the place was crowded and rowdy, which I wanted, they have bouncers at the door who have like, they're like city employees. They have like IDs on their arm and they do not let it get too full.
Interesting. It's it's funny watching Ted Lasso. They did a lot of scenes in the bar, but it made it they made it feel and look like an American bar, except for the accents. Right? It felt like you just go up to the bar, hang out, get a drink.
You're kind of right. Those guys were sitting at the bar.
Right?
Good point.
Yeah, it was an American show in London, so.
When there were no tables, you were allowed to just stay by the bar, but everybody was just kind of like looking for a table. As soon as it opened, they would pounce, you know. So it was great. Really easy city to get around. The underground is easy. I would have walked everywhere, but Nancy forced me to take the underground every now and then. And we did do a double decker. They have the same thing as Manhattan. It's the same company, like Big Bus. You know, those city.
Really?
Yeah, so we did it. It was good because you get headphones. And as you're driving around, it tells you what's, it was cool. It was worth it.
I wonder if they have the cars that go in the water like they do in Boston. What was that, like?
No duck boats?
Something?
No,
duck boat?
They didn't have any duck boats. You could have done a boat tour of the Thames, but we didn't. Thames.
And it was funny. Fraser told me before you left, we were talking, we were playing the game one morning, and he's like, I said, weather-wise, I'm like, it doesn't sound like it's that bad. He's like, Gary, he goes, it's such a damp cold. It just gets to your bones. He goes, it's just... Even though the temperatures are better, he goes, I'd rather Canada where it's like, below 0, but sunny out. Yeah.
It was weird because it was like the temperature was the same every day. It was 40, but certain time, like Friday, it was okay. I mean, we weren't cooked. Saturday we were like, ooh, like it was that bone chilling, that there was moisture in the air. And then when we got off the train in Nottingham, that place is cold. Dampest place I've ever been. Woo.
Oh.
And it's 2 hours north by train, so.
So you got to see our favorite listeners.
It was fantastic. It was great. We had a 9 a.m. train. Hey, listen to this coup. Would the Long Island Railroad ever do this, Bosco? Get on the train. It's at this big train station, like, where trains, you can take a train to Paris. Like it's a big, big train station. Of course I'm like, kind of like I was in airport mode. I'm like, come on, Nancy, it's this way. We got to get on, whatever. I saw this guy acting like a jerk for the car we were waiting to get on. Like, I don't know if he was drunk or what. So we're like, let's go to another car. We get on, 9 o'clock, conductor comes on. We were sitting separately because it was packed. And they wasted a lot of space because most of the seats, it was a table. And 4 people would sit around the table, which was weird. So Nancy was at one, I was at another. And the guy's like, ladies and gentlemen, the 9 o'clock to Nottingham. Unfortunately, we have an unruly passenger. We've had to contact station police. And I'm like, oh, shit. So the train is being held. People start getting off. They're like, oh, I've seen this before. It takes forever. I'm like, oh, Jesus. In the end, they finally resolved it after 25 minutes. But for 25 minutes, we didn't know what was going on. Now, here's the part. Would they ever do this? Would the railroad ever do this? We take off. We go. At every stop, he made the same announcement. Please remember, everyone, to go on to the app for the East Midlands Railway and request your refund for this train ride due to any delay over 15 minutes. You will be fully refunded.
Whoa.
The railroad just cancels the train and then they're not late.
Right. And you know how much those tickets cost me £50 each. So it was $100.
Wow.
And you got a refund.
I did it on the app the next day, and so simple. You literally go on the app. It's like request refund. Like it's right there. Boom. Yes, this is eligible.
Whoa.
Boom.
Never
hit my Amex
on the railroad.
Hit my Amex today. See, I got £100 back.
If the Long Island Railroad charged $100, I guess they could get away with that. because the few times that they're on time, they make the money on it.
I don't think Amtrak would have done that either. For like an $85 trip to Boston or something.
Wow.
Maybe they'll be able to now that they're rich from congestion pricing.
Yes. Yes.
I don't know where it is.
What?
They're not getting as much money as they wanted. I think Mike said that last week.
That's what they said. How are the streets looking in Chelsea?
Same. No impact. Traffic? Same.
Oh, is it same? Or last week you said it was a little bit lighter, you felt?
Yeah, I think it was just coincidence.
Okay.
Because it's back. Trains, same.
Sunil said he's the guy to ask.
Oh.
All right.
He said don't listen to Long Island people.
Maybe we could do a weekly update from Sunil. Would be nice if he could give us some numbers on the monies and the amount of cars he sees in Manhattan. But anyway, we made it to Nottingham. We were 25 minutes late, but we were in communication with Christian and Liz. We'd be using WhatsApp, so they knew. One complaint: they were not standing at the train station waiting for us when we pulled in, like Mike and I were when they got off the train at Floral Park.
That's a nice touch. That's above and beyond, and I don't think you can hold it against him. That was a really great thing that you guys did.
Yeah, they did mention. Poor Christian was so, he wanted everything to be perfect. He was like, "You and Mike were there waiting." I'm like, "Dude, it's fine. It's fine." So we did have to wait a bit for them. They apparently there was an issue with the bus they were going to take and wasn't running, and Christian had to drive his car to the post office instead and leave. Anyway, so they finally show up. So it was so Christian just kept saying, he probably said it 100 times, "I can't believe you're here."
It is really weird when you just have these relationships with people that you don't see really ever, but when you do see them, it's surreal. Yeah.
And once again, to Nancy's chagrin, we did a lot of walking, and Nottingham is hilly, very hilly. But we immediately went. It was like 11:30, so the place we were gonna have lunch wasn't open yet. So we went to there's a museum that I got to hit next time that we went into. It's like the old jail or something. Had some cool shit in it that had a little cafe in the back, and we sat down and we had some tea. I think I had a coffee. They got a pot of tea on the table. It was nice just to sit and chill. And then, and it's funny, I told him this. He's like, "Yeah, we're going to get, you guys hungry?" I'm like, "I'm freaking starving." We're going to get, my cousin, he had told me this, owns a pizza place. And of course, when he said that to me, I'm like,
okay,
wonderful. I'm going to have some English pizza. Is this going to be English muffin pizza? Like, what the hell are we going to have here? Which I do love, by the way.
I love English muffin pizza. I forgot how good that was.
Yeah.
So we go, it's like right there. And we go in, and I'm like, this looks pretty legit. Like this big, beautiful oven in the front room. That looked like a wood-burning pizza oven, but I did find out later because I had a feeling you can't burn wood in England. You can't. It just looks like that. And he introduced his cousin, who's a woman. And I'm like, oh, okay. Turns out she married a guy from Napoli.
Nice.
There's a sign on the place that this pizza place, has been certified legit by the Napoli Commission of Pizza. Like they flew over and had to inspect it.
Wow.
We eventually met, I forget his name. He comes in, legit Italian guy. The place is all decorated with Napoli soccer stuff, pictures of Maradona. Like it was crazy. The pizza was unreal. Like so good. So good. Wow. I think I put pictures.
Was it like New York pizza? Was it Chicago pizza, or just good on its own?
Real pizza.
It was fancy. It was Italian pizza.
Italian pizza.
Like fancy pizza. Like maybe you ran into it in Italy. Like different. Wow. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, maybe. Okay.
My grandmother made the best pizza. Oh my god.
The dough was like super thin in the middle, and then as you came out, like I got fat on the ends, but it was like paper thin almost. And like they make their own dough. The cheese, the sauce was all like we should have got 2. They were massive. We got 4. Yeah. Well, it's so nice. So I'm like, this is great. And then by then they were like, all right, we got to go to the game. Walked pretty far, which I didn't mind. But all of a sudden you see you're like, uh-oh, here we come. You pass the Notts County Stadium first, which is the other team in town. And then you could see the city ground. And it was just all like it was all a blur. It was wild. The crowd keeps getting bigger as you're walking, people filing in. It becomes like one lane, and they walked us like right up to security, and he gave me specific directions. He's like, you scan your card, like it's 2, his tickets are like 2 credit cards because they're season tickets. You just scan them on the thing. You go in, you hang a right, 3 steps, and the seats are right there. So we go to scan the thing. I'm going to sound like I'm picking on BMO, but I did think of him, just height mainly. You have to go through this. It's the same turnstile from like 1898. It's like this wide.
Oh.
Like you got to be like I'm like, they got to have a handicapped large person entrance somewhere. Like there's no way anybody bigger than me could fit through this thing. It was hysterical. But went to the seats, and I was kind of sad. I think I said I felt bad like that we were taking their tickets, and but they're so generous. They were so excited, and I would love to be in there with them. And he's like, maybe we can sneak in like towards the end of the game.
Oh, like they do in Miami? Just jump over the fence?
You're right. So I was and I'm sure Bosco's felt this in his life because of his jinxing abilities. I was so like anxious, like nervous that like I wasn't worthy, that I was going to cause them to lose. And then she's like, what's wrong? I'm like, I feel like I'm in the game. Like it felt like my stomach felt like when I used to play sports, like right before you got on the field. You know what I mean?
Butterflies? You had butterflies?
Yeah, I had the butterflies.
Puke it out?
Exactly. So
I would think that is of all the sports to watch live. I mean, I know hockey's awesome, but that's got to be fantastic because there are no breaks. Like it's just, I know the action may not be complete, right? But
this is the beauty of it that I love about it, right?
For a live game.
Nobody's shooting T-shirts into the crowd,
Right.
Nobody's getting up all the time to go get food, and we're guilty of it,
Yeah.
So the guys next to us were nice. So I promised him I would give a review of his seats. I told him he had to wait. He had to wait to the GarCast. But he has, I would say, you've seen the pictures.
I've seen the pictures. They look like perfect seats.
And I never realized. First of all, they're probably, I don't know, 10 rows from the field.
Right.
They are on the end. I didn't realize they were end seats. So he's got the 2 end seats, right? You love that. You could step right out.
It's the best.
Nobody in front of you. It's a railing that you can lean on in front of you. Put your phone on, whatever, because there's a walkway there with a stairwell that goes down to get out. And there's just like a security guard that's chilling down there the whole time. Now, you're like on the, you're behind the goal, right? If you're looking at the field, the goal's to the left of you, and you're right on like the 10-yard box line, right? Or whatever that is.
18.
It's just the corner. You could hear the players talking. Even Forest scored all 3 of their goals on the other side in the first half, but you could see right down. Like I could see what the players were seeing. I'm like, he's going to shoot it left. It's like, boom. Like, right. It was, the seats are excellent, Christian. There's no better seat in the house. Don't ever give them up.
No,
well
don't
done.
Give those up.
Don't give them up. So that's, and then they did. So I'm feeling good. They score a goal. I'm like a little relaxed. They end up scoring 3 in the first half. I'm like, all right, this is good because they're playing the last place team, right. Bosco.
Yeah,
playing the last place team.
One of the worst teams.
No, and if they
Premier
score
League.
3, you got a stress-free game to watch.
I wasn't
a low
though.
Stress win. You don't want a high stress win.
It was so the guy next to me who sits next to Sumo all the time is like, you guys got to come more often. You're good luck. They're scoring all these goals. And I go, buddy, there's a lot of game left. That's what I said.
3 goals, that's like a season's worth of goals.
It's good.
Nobody scores 3 goals.
I'm like, what happens? Come out. They make some sub. Boom. This guy scores. I'm like, all right, 3-1. I'm like, we got to get the goal back. We come down the field right at us. They're in front of us. Corner kick. Milinkovic heads it in. I'm like, yes, 4-1. They go to the stupid VAR and disallow it for like a bogus offsides. And after that, Southampton takes over. They score on a corner. They're controlling everything. I don't know how the hell they didn't tie the game. Now they go at the end of regulation. They always add extra time. 12 minutes.
Oh, my God.
I'm like, we're dead. I couldn't move. They get an open shot. Olanya clears it off the line. I'm like, oh, my God. Somehow, the game ends with Murillo takes the ball from the other end of the field. He's the central defender. And just decides to dribble it. Like he knew there was like no time left. He dribbles it the length of the field, running directly at Nancy and I. It was insane. And then the ref just blows the whistle. It was over. And Sumo and Liz magically appear at that exact moment out of the stairwell in the seats. That was great. It was awesome.
So awesome.
Yeah. Such an amazing. I thanked them 400 times, but I formally thanked them 100 times here.
Yeah, I texted with him during the game. I'm like, "Are you in there?" And he's like, "No, it's just Mike and Nancy." So
Yeah, they were like across the street and like having tea or something. I don't know what that was. But very, very cool. Some of the characters in the crowd, like old English guys who've been going there forever. Like the comments that you would hear were hysterical. And they were all over the ref.
Oh,
Anthony
well,
Taylor.
you always hate the ref, right?
Oh, and they hate him because of something that happened earlier in the season. He wasn't calling anything, which I kind of like.
I like them. I like to let him play.
But there was a couple, I'm like, Jesus Christ, people were getting hurt.
But do it both ways.
And they had specific songs about the song was Anthony Taylor, It's Not All About You. That was one of the songs. And then later they were just singing The Ref is a Wanker. That was that was great. It was good
It's
stuff.
like Ted Lasso.
Yeah, no, it was great. So just to fast forward through, after that they took us to the bar that's under the castle, ye old trip to Jerusalem, whatever. That was amazing.
So a Robin Hood statue, right?
Got my photo with the Robin Hood statue. Had a beautiful dinner, which did have waiter service. Walked through the town. Cute. I'd love to see the town in daylight, really. Like we didn't see, but just really nice. Pretty big place, Nottingham. It's not it's a city.
Yeah.
And finished off with a drink at I forget the names, Christian and Liz, I'm sorry, but this beautiful bar. It wasn't a pub, with couches and fancy cocktails, and then next thing you know, it was we're on the train heading back. It was just woof.
Flash,
it was crazy.
Right?
A quick 10 hours in Nottingham. It was nuts.
So happy for you.
Thank you. It was great.
Hey, I'll be right back. I gotta say hi to Mar.
Oh, hey, Mar. Bosco, what have you been up to?
Quick question.
Yeah.
You got some ribbon in the back there. What's going on? Yeah.
That's been there. I think my thing moved. They gave this to me in the Philippines when I arrived. It's like a traditional kind of like a lei situation.
No kidding. Did you wear that around at work every day, or
the first day I wore it the whole day?
Nice.
Keep it on. My forest scarf came with me and back again.
Excellent.
My scarf did as well.
Your scarf is right here.
Nice.
Nancy was wearing it.
Got to go back to the Fernwood.
Now I can't share videos on the Discord, but I have some great videos at the game, and when they sing, oh god, I'm gonna mispronounce it, but the famous song they sing at the beginning of the game and at halftime, everybody just holds their scarves like this. So of course I did it. Nancy's got good video of me doing that. It's pretty cool.
You can send me the videos. I can put them up on Discord.
I'm gonna send you the videos,
or I could actually throw them on YouTube.
I'm just gonna send them to you.
To see. Yeah,
do whatever you want.
Send them over. I'll mash it up.
Do whatever you want, buddy.
We only got 10 minutes, so I think
take over. I've said enough.
You got to keep going because
No, I'm done.
I need you to read emails.
Oh, well, yeah, all right.
Take a deep breath.
I mean, before we go to the email, you wore the stupid shirt. Bosco's got the Penn State shirt on. Congratulations on your national championship.
Very happy. Almost a stressful game, stressless game until Notre Dame put a little fight back.
They made it a game. They definitely made it a game.
They made it a good game. Obviously, I wanted them to win, but mostly happy for Anthony to be in Columbus for that.
Very, very cool to be in college when your team wins the national championship.
Yeah, my niece was in Nova for 2 of the Villanova basketball championships.
Oh,
and
wow.
Apparently, Tom Uratori was there back when we were younger for one of the basketball championships. So
you guys are like the anti-Boscos.
I guess. Well, I said Anthony, the pressure's on.
Where's Mar going? Let's put all our money on wherever Mar's going. Let's go.
She could be Indiana, right? Signetti. By the way, Signetti only lost to the 2 national championship.
That is
finalists.
pretty cool stat.
But yeah, it was a good season. Christine was kicked out for a little while. I have to kick her out for these big games.
Good for you.
She's just too much of a.
How does the kick out go? Is it an aggressive kick out? Are you nice about it?
She can just sense. She can sense my displeasure with her. Telling me,
you're not like.
They give up a first down. She's like, oh my God, they can't give up another first down. What are they doing? I'm like, what are you talking about? They're going to give up first downs. Get out of here.
I was hoping you flipped your lid.
No.
To get the fuck out.
Luckily, she did take down. She let me take down the Garland before the game.
See, she really loves you.
She does love me. But Anthony said it was so much fun. It's been a nonstop party there. He didn't even go to school the next day. He said a lot of kids didn't go to classes. He goes, my house. He's like, it's never been this dirty. And it's usually pretty dirty.
Could you imagine if Christine saw that?
She was really upset last night. She actually went downstairs and cleaned Nick's area because she was upset that Anthony's house was dirty.
Oh, the poor thing. The poor thing.
So
she projected her feelings onto another area.
he said,
"Can I send her pictures of my house when it's dirty?"
Oh, yes, yeah. He said it's been nonstop partying, like every night. It's just so much fun. So I was really happy for him to get to experience that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I made it home. I did wear my Notre Dame T-shirt that I got in Notre Dame and my hat in London and on the flight. I did have a guy by the British Museum. All of a sudden, we're walking. This guy's like, "Hey, you're from South Bend?" I'm like, "No." I'm like, "I got the hat. I was at the game." He's like, "Oh, I'm from South Bend." I'm like, "You're like a townie?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "I go to Indiana." I'm like, "Oh, that's cool." So we're talking
crazy.
about Signetti. Yeah, just random. Too many Americans.
Simulation.
Too many.
It's a simulation, bro.
Simulation again. We also had that at the Forest game. These guys were on the train, and I didn't know it was. I didn't want to start drinking in the morning on the train, but I'm like, I don't know. Can you drink on the train? Bosco, we like to drink on the train.
You're in a new area. You don't want to break the rules.
These two big dudes get on like at Leicester or something, or a couple stops before Nottingham, and they've got, just like boom, like they just grabbed a 4-pack Guinness in the store and put it on the table. Oh my God, these are my boys. So we didn't talk to them, but they're right there. Going around Nottingham, the pizza, the whole thing. I said everybody was funneling in as you go into the stadium. Who funnels right into us?
Guinness
Those
boys.
two guys.
Amazing.
Yeah. But I did have train beers on the way home. That was fun.
Yes. All right.
My
Get that
Christian
email in. Sorry.
Relax. I'm making you sweat.
I
was like,
7
Christian,
minutes.
I was like, does that store sell beer? As they were walking us back to the train. He's like, probably. I'm like, perfect. 4 beers for the train. Oh, and he did, I forgot this. He had a gift for Nancy, like as soon as they got to the train station, in this beautiful Nottingham Forest box. It was like a gift set with like a pen, a pin, and a pair of Forest socks.
That's awesome.
And
He's the best.
Yeah, he said he is. He goes, "You have to put these on, Nancy." He goes, "We've been wearing them for this run that we're on." And I'm like, so like we're in the pizza place, and Nancy's like secretly changing her socks under the table. I'm like, "You better put those on." We did. We brought them some gifts, and Jackie did whip up for them some Fernwood T-shirts and coasters that were very nice. They were
nice.
So,
wow.
Let's see pictures of those. Yeah. Let's see. All right, we got one email. This won't take long. One email a week we're batting.
All right, it's better than no emails a week.
Oh, you know who it's from? It's from this crazy woman who goes around on the train and takes pictures of midgets.
Could you imagine her with the phone, like trying to get him on the camera to take the picture of him?
I was so proud of her that she took the picture and posted it because I know how she is. But did you see what I did?
She deleted it right away, but luckily
I literally saved that thing like a second before she deleted it.
Oh.
That will be making an appearance.
And then you reposted it.
Oh yeah,
Of course.
that's not the last time I reposted it.
The right banana, 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 the right banana.
All right. Hola, Garmigos. What a wild and crazy week. Congratulations. Oh, the subject is hats off to the winners, by the way. Congratulations to the Ohio State University Buckeyes on winning this year's national championship. I've got no snark left until August. And to Notre Dame, well, you got to go to the big game too. And like Coach Franklin, can't beat the damn Buckeyes. Darn Buckeyes. As the true band geek I am, I want to share a Big Ten tradition. At the home games, the marching band will turn to the visiting fan section and play their fight song. So since my Penn State boys got to play both teams as a sign of respect, I've attached a little song for each team. I need better recording equipment. Oh, wow. So she played this.
That's
I don't know
awesome.
what you could do with those, Gary. Post them somewhere.
Yeah,
cool.
we can get them out there.
That is very cool, Rebecca. Very good. I blame you because you were rooting for the Irish. It's your fault.
Who's DenBob rooting for? Irish?
Yeah,
Or you
DenBob,
didn't
what'd you
care?
do during that game?
Did you even watch
No,
it?
I watched, but I was indifferent. I didn't really care who won.
You were
I
neutral.
didn't know. I was indifferent, so I had no bearing.
How is the have you made any friends yet at your charging station?
Yeah, well, I mean, I have my new bar.
Right.
So,
So, but
yeah.
have you
You know
made
the
any contact?
bartender?
You got a crew?
100%. So I got two barmaids that I talk to.
Nice.
Anyone who hops in there or who hops out. But I mean, if I have 5 minutes,
Go ahead.
I would like to talk about some two new friends that I made.
Go ahead. The floor is yours.
Bimo, if you remember 2 years ago, he is a VIP at H2O.
Yes.
And once a year, they have a special cocktail hour. Well, this year, it was just me and Bimo and they had it at Teller's in
Yeah, same ownership, right?
Were you
in
at the
Iceland.
Boomer and Geo Legends event with Phil Simms? They had that there.
No, this was just cocktail hour, and
Right.
what they did, there were apparently a lot of VIPs with a lot of guests,
Yeah.
so it was super crowded. You get your drink, you waited online, and then they had the stand-up tables. Now they weren't, sometimes that's a problem for me because I can't really.
Yeah.
This time it was fine. They were fine, and we had to mingle with other people.
Mm.
So we stand at this table, and it's a young couple, very nice, but I don't want to talk to people. I was with BMO. That's all I needed.
You wanted him.
But I played the game. So they talked about how well off they are. He has his wine locker at Teller's. He's a sales engineer. Then the woman, she talks like, she's like Housewives of Manhattan.
Mm-hmm.
BMO, then they go to, his turn. He talks about how he's a, I'm a spine surgeon.
I am excited.
Oh,
And then
can't
it comes
wait.
to me.
I can't wait. What were you, DenBob?
I couldn't bear to reveal who I really was. These
Of course
strangers who I'm never going to. So
Thank you for not letting us down.
I reached back into
Let me
my
get-
roots.
Was
And
it
the
the
girl
foot
goes, "So
doctor?
what do you do?" I said, "Wax fruit."
What?
She goes, "What?" That's exactly what she said. I said, "Wax fruit. I'm a wax fruit salesman." I said, my
Oh,
I said, my family, their business is manufacturing wax fruit, and I'm the salesman. So, I go to a hotel, and I just went. I went. And the guy looked at me, and he was like, "What the hell?" And I'm like, "Oh, yeah." And I point to something on the wall. I'm like, "That's our product." I didn't
Was there
sell it to them.
wax? There was wax fruit
Dude,
with it.
I don't know if it was real or not. I was just going.
I would have
So I
said to you, "Is it really made out of wax?" And then see how you came back with that.
Well, I would have said, it's kind of like breasts. It's almost better because it's perfect. It's made in you look at a fake breast, it's better almost. So that's how I sell the fruit. And you go to IHG, all these hotels. You look at the bowl with the fruit. So that was pretty funny. I pulled it off.
Well, the
It was
BMO
Was
kept.
he laughing?
He was jaw dropped. I don't think he even realized what was going on until after the fact.
He did hear you say that, right? He didn't
He
walk
heard
over
me
and say, "What are
say
you?"
it, but I don't think he understood what I was doing.
He
Like
quickly threw back his bourbon. He was like,
I'm usually, listen, I am usually I go with the pathologist, but sometimes you get caught with the pathology thing. So wax fruit, you can get away with that, and it's also much more entertaining to retell the story.
It can get better and better now. You can keep refining it every time.
I can't say that I made it up. I had a friend who used to do it at bars all the time.
the wax fruit.
Yeah, he was excellent at it.
Yeah, 'cause
So
you said you reached back. Okay, that's fine.
So thank you, Tom Richardson, for giving me the story.
Tommy Richardson. Big shout out to Tom. That's hilarious.
So,
And those people-
good way to end it.
Were they assholes? These people, or did you like them?
No, they were cool. It was fun. They were great. It was a great outing. Thank you, BMO, for the invite.
Yep,
Great
yes.
time.
I said
Excellent
it'd
story.
You said it'd make the cut this time. Sad. I'm just kidding. I can't wait till BMO wants to go to the city ground so I can go again with him.
Watch him try to struggle getting in there. Yes.
Yes, we'll grease him up with some wax fruit. But yes, thank you, Christian and Liz, again, and thank you, Nancy, and everyone.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Awesome.
I'm sure I forgot some funny stories. They'll pop up over the coming weeks.
No, that was a great recap. I thoroughly
I didn't want to
enjoyed
hog
that.
everything. Yeah.
You took it over, but it was well worth it.
And you were late for the show,
And I was late, cutting it short today. But
which is freaking terrible.
work afternoons are a little bit harder. Things happen.
We like to accommodate our special guests.
We
I
do.
appreciate that.
So
And stay safe out there to some of our loyal listeners whose job hours have increased due to the new president. This is Bosco's first GarCast underneath the banner of President Donald Trump because he joined us after he was out of office.
that's right. Yes.
So Bosco, how did it feel? Did it feel better?
Yeah. Oh, wonderful.
All right. Well, until next time, be Gar-rific.
Gar out.
Have a great day.
Later, boys.
Go
Cheers,
Bucks.
mate.
Cheers.